Hey everyone,
I'm Steph.
I'm Michael.
And today we have our top 10 games of February 2025.
That's right. And for those of you who don't already know, these are not new games in February 2025. These are games that are new to us in February 2025. Some of these games could be old classics. Some of these games might not even be released yet, but we have already played them. And this doesn't always happen, all of these games were provided by the publisher.
Yep.
But they didn't give it to us in exchange for this video or their placement on this list. They gave it to us because they know we like to play all the games.
Yeah, so in February I learned 40 games.
And I don't have the exact statistics here, but I think it was 38.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn 50 a month, so I'm already behind for the year. So I need to pick it up in other months. But to be fair, February is kind of a short month, so I don't feel that bad, and I'm sure I'll be able to make it up at a convention in the future. So I'm excited to share our top 10 for February.
It's 38. I just checked.
Okay, good.
38 games. So, and yeah, Jelfie is right. She said February is a short month.
That's right. That's what I just said.
So
you said it.
You said it, and she agreed, and I agreed that she agreed that you agreed.
Perfect.
So let's go ahead and start off with our top 10. My number 10 game was somewhat of a surprise because I had not heard of this game before going to PAX Unplugged last year. Yep. And we stumbled across a booth from Dogholla Games and saw this game, Portmanteau, where you take... So a portmanteau is a made up word. Like if you have a word breakfast and lunch, you put them together and make
brunch.
Very good. So where you combine two words to make a whole new word. And in this game, Joby said, "Oh, that game I totally didn't play." That's right. And you totally didn't like it because you totally didn't play it, but you really did.
Yeah.
For both.
Yep.
You liked it and you played it. So you're going to have images, cards with images on them. I am going to have 2 of these images on my little secret hidden box, and then I'm going to create a word that's between 3 and 8 letters. Now, 8 letters, not so difficult. 3 letters? Do a 3-letter portmanteau is really difficult. So you discuss things between each other, and it's a cooperative game, and you try to guess which 2 images I am talking about when I give you my portmanteau. Super fun word game, very much word thinky, like much the same way as Code Names is word thinky. What is he thinking in this? And it's also very similar to Code Names in that it's like I see this that is clear in my mind what it is, but I don't consider the tile next to it. Oh yeah, that one also could have been misinterpreted for that I'm trying to get you to guess. Those sort of things happen just like in more well-known word games. Yeah, super fun game. Okay. Yeah, portmanteau also means coat rack in French.
There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah, I really like it for a small box party game. I think it delivers a great time. So might be appearing on my list.
Oh, that's my number 10, portmanteau from Dogholla Games.
Yep. My number 10 is Trekking the World 2nd Edition. There's actually been a lot of remakes of games recently.
A lot recently.
A lot.
So here's the big question, and y'all can join in the discussion. When there is a 2nd edition of a game, do you count it as a new to you game? And we have had a lot of discussions about that, and what we have decided on is if there is a new entry in Board Game Geek, then we're counting it as a new game.
That's basically how I'm looking at it. If I'm putting it in and it has changes, it's not just a refacing of a game or whatever. It has changes. This one has a lot of changes.
This one has significant changes to
So
first edition.
So I definitely wanted to add to the list because I really like the game. Um, in this game, you are basically moving around the board. Well, you're drafting a card first to tell you how many steps you can take, and you're going to move your guy that many spaces. And then if you're in a location that is on the card, you'll get some resources.
Get points.
You'll also get coins depending on what's on the card. That will help you visit specific locations to get the points. So if you're at a location like in Africa and it says you get a cube, you might get like a resource cube and that will help you get bonuses. But also if you're at a specific location like Serengeti or wherever, and there's a available card to take, you can buy that card and with the money that you have if you have enough money. So you're trying to plan out your little pathway to get the bonuses you can, yeah, it's a nice little race to get 5 locations, but also have other goals in mind as well because they offer a new display of cards not for the points but for abilities.
Yeah, so it's the same cards, just the other side of the card, where if you manage to land on that location, you get the ability, even if you can't afford to visit the card and take it into your lineup.
Yeah, and that's cool that they added all these abilities. And so like I got $3 for passing another player on my turn. That was really helpful because you always need money, and if I could over pass Michael, then I got $3 and I'd turn in the card, and that was a one-time bonus for me for having that card and being able to play that card. So I like that it gives a whole lot more like things to think about.
Right.
It's not just, these are the cards you're going for, these are the cubes you're getting at the locations. It's done in a nice presentation. I liked the game before. I do think they improved upon it.
Right.
With this
now,
edition. Still beautiful.
I could not remember, and so I may not be exactly correct in this, but from what Steph and I can remember, I think we went around the board to collect tokens, and you'd use the tokens to end up paying for the location. In this game, I think it's totally different.
Yeah, I think they did a revamp. I can't remember either that well. But
I can't remember it exactly, but I know it was not like this.
Right.
So
if you like the original, we like the original. We just haven't been able to play it a lot. I know it was on BGA. I don't know if this one is.
I don't know.
But anyway,
this one is much better.
I like it a lot. So definitely worth checking out. Really good family weight style game. Plays pretty quickly too. So it's good.
That is Trek in the World's second edition from Underdog Games. Oh no!
Okay.
Just zoom back in, and I will start talking about this. Our number 9, we've got a crossover.
Oh, okay. Hold on 1 second then.
That will take you a second to put them to put those games into. You were not ready for the camera to all of a sudden go to the wide shot.
I wasn't, but here we are. Your number 9 and my number 9
is Ito from Play to Z.
Yeah. So, we played this on stream the other day. Yep. I think it's really great. Great use of cards. Because you're trying to create the patterns with the colors.
It's 3x3 grid.
I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. And it totally does not overstay its welcome. You've got your hand of cards that you are using, trying to spend some of your coins in order to recruit some of these heroes. And you're trying to put your best fighters in the front line because having the most power gives you more points. And having sets of things in the right vertical or horizontal locations might give you points, might give you gold, might give you fighting power, might give you some sort of benefit. And I love games with all sorts of drafting. Hey, thanks for following.
Thanks for following.
So, yeah, the metaphysician just followed.
Wow.
So, because of all of that, and it sort of does it in this chibi sort of Japanime art.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
I know you probably are like, I think it's super cute. And
I know, I think it's cute for sure.
I'm attracted to it. I that is something that would bring me to the table. So I really appreciate it.
Draws you in.
Yeah.
So that is Ito from Play to Z.
Quick little card game. Really like it a lot. So I'm excited to bring that to different game groups.
Yes, for sure. My number 8 game is Point Galaxy from Flat Out Games.
This just missed my list. Like, it was number 11.
Number 11.
Just missed the list.
We've had Point Salad, we've had Point City. This is Point Galaxy, and I gotta say, I think this is probably my favorite of all of the Point games.
I think it's my favorite too, because it is more like Point Salad than Point City. Is it? Those two seem different to me. But Point Salad is straightforward. The cards are coming out into a tableau, and you're collecting these cards for points. This Point Galaxy is the same idea as that you're collecting from the open display of cards, but you have to put them into certain galaxies. And the galaxies will score based on the suns you have and other like moon qualifications that you collect.
Yeah.
And so I like having those different columns of cards that you're trying to prioritize for different points.
Right. And the fronts of the cards, the faces of the cards all have planets, but the backside from which you are drawing has the suns and the moons and the all of the special asteroids and stuff, and you can draft those as well. So trying to get planets underneath those suns, the suns that give you bonus conditions for certain planets or combinations of planets, moons that will give you points if you're surrounding the moon with certain planets, asteroids which gives you a most of victory condition by the end of the game. Lots of fun drafting and tableau placement fun to be had in Point Galaxy.
Yeah, I really like it.
That's my number 8 game from Flat Out Games.
My number 8 game is Toriki, the Castaway Island from Lucky Duck Games.
That one just missed my 10.
Yeah.
So
Michael and I actually spent a good chunk of time playing through it all. So
on Friday and Saturday, I think.
Yeah.
No, Thursday and Friday.
It's 6 to 8 hours in completion, but it probably was a little less for us. We kind of like were zooming through it.
We were flying through it.
We were flying through it. But it's really fun because it takes the Chronicles of Crime kind of situation with an app and the QR codes and you're putting things together. It takes that like idea, but into an exploration game where you're going out into the jungle. You have to spend food to move further. You have so many actions in the day before you have to return to camp. So you're trying to like spread out and go far, but you'll always have to come back. Or you make a tent and then you could maybe have a tent out there, but you run out of food, so you'll have to go back. And so all these different things while you're exploring this island and trying to figure out the different puzzles and missions that you're trying to accomplish.
Those missions, yeah.
Yeah,
I
so
love that.
I really enjoyed this experience. I do have like one complaint is that there's no real like time limit or there's no
risk.
Yeah, there's no risk for doing something wrong or
taking too long
badly or whatever. Like you're not gonna die.
Right.
Which is good for kids. Like you want to be able to take your time and explore and do everything however long people need. But there's no like if I do it this quickly, I'll get this bonus for it. Or if I do something like I know we took way too long at the beginning of the game to get anything done. So like there's no real penalty.
To be fair, okay, some of the quests we could not find out at all. Some of the quests we stumbled upon, like small spoiler, we found an object that I'm not going to talk about that said, "Oh, hey, if you have not found mission number 8, but that was your mission 8. Draw it from the deck and put it in the box because you have now found this thing."
So we did that mission or a couple of those missions without really knowing we were supposed to be doing that.
Yes.
So
but yeah, one of the main complaints with games like Chronicles of Crime is that it does penalize you everything you do takes 5 minutes of time or 15 minutes, some segment of time, 1 hour of time. This does not penalize you at all. Maybe there could be a happy medium in there. I know it's sort of difficult to walk that line, or maybe you have an easy mode and a hard mode set in the app. I remember there was another mild spoiler. A bad thing happened. Some kind of creature around, and then the creature started getting closer and closer, and then we never saw the creature again. Like, what happened there?
Yeah.
We didn't have to deal with it. Was that a bug in the app? Was it a?
We don't know.
We don't know.
So that's a little bit of a left on.
So yeah, did not seem to be any risk. There was one thing. Oh, this bad thing happened, and you lost an action in the daytime. But when the actions, it doesn't matter how slowly or quickly we complete these missions. What do we care about? And that ultimately is what barely knocked it out of my top 10.
And I get that. For me, it's the fun of exploring and trying to combine items, and then you make an item. You're like, oh, I wasn't trying to make that, but that's cool.
And as you're exploring the island, you can name the creatures.
That's cute too.
That's super cute.
Yeah, so I think this is like a really good, like, family weight kind of game for kids to enjoy as well.
It is a one shot, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think you can really replay it much.
Yeah, probably not, because I feel like we saw everything it had to offer.
I think so too.
Now they'll probably make different games in the series, like Lucky Duck does, but yes. So I would play the other ones as well. I thought it was pretty good.
I absolutely. If they came out with a Toriki 2, I would totally be on board to play the whole thing. Yeah. So I was not displeased with the experience at all. Like I say, it almost made my top 10.
Yep.
That is Toriki, the Castaway Island from Lucky Duck Games.
Yep.
My number 7 game was another little bit of a surprise. It is Trailblazers from Bite Wing Games.
Yep.
Fairly abstract tile placement game, but and instead of tiles, they're cards, but they basically act like domino type tiles in that you've got paths coming in. You've got 2 small paths and 1 long path coming in. You'll always have on the 6 exits of a card, top, bottom, and it's, long like a domino. So you got 2 on either side. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 exits. Your 3 paths are always going to take those 6 exits. But those paths are different colors. Basically, you have hikers, bikers, and kayakers who are taking paths. And you are trying to line these paths up to start from a base camp of hikers, bikers, or kayakers to go in a loop to get around to the starting camp again. You can put the paths however you want. You can put it so you've got a hiking path that turns into a river that turns into a biking path, and that is fine, but it's not going to be considered part of your path for your loop. Ultimately, you end up focusing on a few loops to get points. The cool thing is that you've also got missions that you're trying to pursue. Like, I've got to get this mission completed before she does. Oh, I've got to get 2 of these biking trails. So I'm going to start off with biking. Oh, you start off with biking too. All right, it's on. So we've got cards, we draft, we pass. And then I've got to give her cards that I don't want her to have. So there are also optional animals that you can use, that you can choose to, if they're on your path, and oh, hey, I'm hiking on this path. I see a bear. I stop and take a picture of it. Oh, I see a second bear. I don't care. I already saw a bear. Oh, but look, there's an eagle. I'm going to stop, take a picture of it. That gives you bonus points. I love all the different ways to get points. I love the drafting. The cards are a little slick, but there's a reason for it. They meant for this to be able to be played anywhere. You spill something on it, it gets wet, it rains on it, whatever, those cards are going to stay just fine because they're plasticky.
Yeah, they're plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a nice quality game. I really enjoyed this one.
Yep.
So
maybe
see it in a minute.
Any sort of drafting and card / tile placement. They are cards, but they might as well be tiles because it feels like tile placement to me. And any sort of mission completion, I'm on board. Trailblazers is my number 7 of February.
Nice.
Your number 7.
My number 7 is Portmanteau.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Great time playing this, and I will happily play this more with any group that would want to play it. I really enjoy party games, so when I find one I like to show it off to as many groups and see what sticks with people. And I think a lot of this would have a really good response with most of my groups. So
it's easy to get.
It's a small little box, so it's like super easy to bring around. So
yeah, and Jofia will not play it whenever you put it in front of her.
Even though she will. So I agree with Michael and that it should be on the list. And here it is at number 7.
Yeah, matter of fact, like I said, I had Tariki on my list at number 10.
Yep.
And Portmanteau at 11. I'm like, I have to decide which one of these. And I'm like, you know what? Portmanteau deserves to be on this list more than Tariki. I put it on there. And I was like, and Steph's not going to have this. Yes, you totally had it on your list. Even higher than I did.
Yeah, I like
it. I did. I don't know her list while I'm creating mine. Matter of fact, today she's like, "You want me to post my list in the spreadsheet?" I'm like, "Hold off, I'm almost ready."
Oh, wait a minute.
Because I don't want to be influenced by where her titles are in the list. So yeah. My number 6 game, we've already talked about this one. It is Trekking the World 2nd Edition from Underdog Games. All of the changes that they have made, or at least the changes that I think are in my brain that they've created, they totally work. Much better than the previous version. If you've played Trekking the World, the original 1st edition, highly recommend checking out this game to see the changes that they've put in there. For all of the reasons that you said. You laid it out rather nicely, I gotta say.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It's everything I wanted to say.
Awesome. I did a good job.
Yeah, you did.
Same thing with me and my number 6, Trailblazers.
Wow, we're just jamming right along, right?
Love the puzzly aspect of it. Like I love tile placement in general, and I love having my own little personal area, and I love drafting. So it's no surprise that this fell right into my wheelhouse. I can't say I love the art style. I think it's cute, but it's not my coloration. Like I don't like the colors of the box.
The dark green and the
like attracted to this game.
Well, you're not an outdoorsy girl.
I'm really not. But I wasn't like drawn into this game for like the cover or the theme. But I was brought in once I played it. I'm like, I love this game. This is great. I think it's so much fun. And
so it was a hidden gem, is what you're saying.
I think so, for me.
In addition, it comes with this little zippered clamshell pouch.
So nice, yeah.
That it's got a little carabiner that you put on it. You can attach it to your pack or your belt loop, and take it along with you on the trail.
That's attractive.
That's really cool.
I wish they made the box that color of like teal.
The turquoise-ish looking.
Yeah. But yeah, for me, super fun. I like that because this is the one that we have is the deluxe edition. So I think it comes with that carabiner.
Oh, that's the one that has the clamshell case. So if you want that, get the deluxe edition.
Yes. Cool.
Trailblazers from Bitewing Games. My number 5 game was a huge hit with everyone on the stream. I think we've sold more copies of this than we've sold of most other games on this channel.
Easy.
It is Foxy by Pegasus Spiel and Gate on Games. Of the 4 games that we have tried in the Gate on Games series from Pegasus Spiel, there's Foxy, Birdie, Alpaca, and Squeaky. I think Foxy is by far my favorite, and the stream's favorite too. We've come up with our own variation of Speed Foxy. It is basically a a memory game, and I do not care for memory games. That's not a hat. That's not for me. Foxy, totally for me, because it's like I will show you a picture of one, two, or three animals, and I will say how many of these animals have we seen, and we put that number on our card, and then we do that. It's really easy at the start because we haven't seen many pigs or chickens or giraffes or cats. But then, as time goes on and we haven't seen maybe a zebra for a while, and all of a sudden we have a giraffe and a zebra. How many giraffes and zebras have we seen? I can't remember. It's been so long, or we've had so many. And we try to be close without going over. Jelvia also really likes Foxy, much like she likes portmanteau.
I think the next level up is we each play 40 cards.
Oh, wow. Wow. We're going to call that double Foxy.
But we have to put the fox into the first 20.
No. Oh, yeah, we would, because otherwise we're going to see all nine.
No.
You're right. You're right. I agree. So, if trust me, it works out super well, and it plays super quickly. You can play a game of Foxy in 10 minutes. You can play Speed Foxy in 5.
Or less.
Or less.
Each animal than it does to play.
Yeah. So be sure to check out Foxy from Pegasus Spiel.
Yeah, lots of fun.
Your number 5
is Brussels 1893 Bella Pop.
from Geek Attitude Games.
So this is again another edition of an older game, like we're talking about. This is Brussels 1893 came out, I don't know, whenever it came out. I've played it then and I enjoyed it. I always wanted to like it a little bit more than I did. Maybe because I played it with the full 5-player count when it first came out, and it just kind of left me. It's kind of a brutal game because of what's happening in the game, and
I'm taking your action. You're taking my action.
yeah, so you need to plan, but it's you also have to work with what everybody's giving you to work with. So with 2 players, I actually quite enjoyed this. But in Bella Puck, they add in a whole extra new boards with goals and stuff. So that is really a nice addition. So the game feels very similar to what I remember it to be, because it is the same game, but they added the extra stuff. So
they had the Bella Puck expansion. It is optional.
Yeah.
But highly recommend adding it. I do not see a time that I would not want to add it.
Yeah, I would always want to add the extra stuff. So for me, this totally replaces the other one.
Yes.
There's no need for the other one if you have this one, or if you love the old one, it's probably worth looking into getting the new one for the extra stuff. And yeah, it's just a beautiful game, and I think it has a lot of unique and different mechanics. So
yeah,
for me, it's a good game. I like it.
No, I did not play the original. I only played this new one, but I did go back and take a look at how the older one, with the art style and how things were set up. And I gotta say, I like how everything is set up in Belle Epoque much more than I do the old original version of Brussels. So, highly recommend this version of the game.
Yeah.
That is your number 5, Brussels 1893 Belle Epoque from Geek Attitude Games. My number 4. My top 4 games were so difficult for me to rank 1, 2, 3, and 4. I basically have 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D. And this one is one of those. It's Aeon's End, The Descent from Indie Board and Cards. Anything Aeon's End, I will always want to play. It should go without question that anything Aeon's End, we are going to want to play. This version of Aeon's End could be played just as your first Aeon's End experience. But this uses the campaign system that was originally laid out in Aeon's End, The New Age.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which I love.
Yes,
I love
a
that.
1000%. Um, so I can, since this is not just an expansion, I mean, you can integrate this in with everything else as you can just about everything Anne's End. You can just integrate it all together, including the legacy stuff,
Yeah.
I must say.
Yeah.
This campaign system can be used with other versions of Aeon's End. So if you don't have the New Age, you don't need it to enjoy the Descent, and you can even then take that content and campaign system and put it in with your normal Aeon's End stuff. If you enjoy deck builders and you've never heard of Aeon's End, I highly recommend it. If you have played Aeon's End but have not played any of the newer stuff, go ahead and get this. You will not be disappointed. So, yeah, highly recommend this game.
Yeah. It's really good.
And we still have a lot of expansions we have left to play. So, for Aeon's End. Yes.
Nice.
Does this win out over Dominion? Asks Cult Cardboard. They are different experiences.
They're different.
Dominion is, me versus Steph, right? Aeon's End is cooperative, where it's us against the nemesis, an adversary of some sort. Another change between Aeon's End and a lot of other deck builders is no shuffling of our decks. So, the order in which we discard it goes into our draw pile and we draw from there with no shuffling. It does reduce the wear and tear on the cards noticeably, I would say. The only things that get worn out are the turn order cards. There is a third party app that will do all of the Aeon's End shuffling, but I got to say this: the Descent comes with a normally optional
I'm gonna talk
module.
about it.
Okay. Called Friends and Foes.
Hey.
Los Torpedoes says, I love Aeon's End.
Yeah.
Yes.
Compare the two, so no, it doesn't win over Dominion. I love Dominion. I love Aeon's End.
Yeah. I would not put.
I think I rate them the same.
They are both deck builders. They are both different.
Yeah. So, really good. My number 4 is Masters of Crime Shadows.
This one also almost made the list.
I really enjoy the one playthrough like crime solving games. I think I get my enjoyment and then I can just not have to worry about it. Like I like the idea of just being done with it. A game like this or any of the exits or unlocks you play through, you had a fun experience and you're done. What's the next game? Or what's the next game in the series, even? So, this series is really fun because.
The Master of Shadows series.
Master of Crime
Shadows, and Master of Crime Vendetta, Master of Crime Rapture. Yes.
Yeah, so there's a bunch in the series already. And they all kind of do a similar mechanic overview, like the same kind of mechanics, but you're solving different crimes or that are happening. And so in this one, you're thieves trying to plan out the perfect heist,
museum heist.
Yeah, and so it's fun. You're using the knowledge of the game, but you're also using knowledge you can find on the web. At times it will tell you to look online for some information. And so you're trying and you're like, well, I know the Mona Lisa. Like I don't need to look anything up for that. Well, maybe we should have.
Maybe we should have.
So or whatever it is. So
I gotta say, I used my knowledge of Ocean's 11, and now you see me.
That's fair. So for me, I thought this was a really fun theme, and we had a fun time putting together a group of masterminds to figure out the perfect plans. With our what's the word I'm thinking of? Like troop. What do you call a group of like your Ocean's 11 team?
Yeah,
Is there a name for like that?
I don't know.
Like
You're
fellowship, but like
yeah.
you know what I mean.
Gang.
Sure. A gang, a crew. I like crew best.
Crew. Okay,
Okay.
sure.
Our crew. Putting together our crew for our perfect night.
Mm.
So, you're given all this information, and we played 4 player, so everybody wanted to say what they had to say. So we worked with whatever anybody's opinions were. So I thought it worked out really well.
I did not feel like I was just sitting idle at any point on this game. Like you do on a lot of these escape room type adventure type choose your own path like uh adventures. A
Yeah.
lot of times you're just sitting there, you're like waiting on somebody to
what's
finish
next?
up something. There was one time that James and I were working on something, and they could have been doing something else, but they were like watching to see what was going on. It's like, are they going to get this thing done? And I'm like, oh yeah. And now cut wire number 4, and he's like, got it. And I'm like, we're working together on this. You can't just, you know, um, wander through solo. And that, though I think they do have rules for playing that puzzle solo.
That's true.
I will want to always play through all of these Masters of Crime games.
Yeah, there's no time limit. You're not being
That's
judged
so
on the
good.
time. Uh and so you don't necessarily have to get everything perfectly right, which is also nice. But you will get judged based on the people you chose for your crew and like what happens during the actual heist. And so choices matter and
Yep.
you want to get those stars.
Yep.
It's nice.
So games like Deckscape or the Exit series, the Unlock series, they take about an hour. This one has about a 4-hour playtime on it.
Yeah, 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah. It probably took us 3 or so hours.
Yeah.
To play through. Totally worth it.
Yeah.
You
It went
can
by
save.
quickly.
Yeah, you can save your game, but it's probably short enough that you don't have to, but long enough that you feel that, oh, it's just an hour and what? Now it's over. And so you really get a lot of bang for your buck with Masters of Crime. Amy says she wants to play this one.
We
So
have
yeah,
we have 3 others.
guess
to
what?
play.
You come over, we'll play it. So
That's fun.
that is your number 4, Masters of Crime Shadows from Thames and Cosmos.
Yep.
Or is it just Cosmos?
Thames and
I
Cosmos.
don't remember.
The
So-
US is Thames and Cosmos.
Okay, got it. So, my number 3, we have talked about Brussels 1893, Belle Epoque from Geek Attitude Games. I will always want to play with this expansion, with those modules, with some of the alternate boards, flipping the boards back and forth like that. I don't see anything that it takes away from, really. I like how it puts those tiles in the middle, because the middle tiles are where you would normally want to put your house down, because that's the middle is where you're most likely to go. So it gives you even more incentive to be the one who chooses which direction
It's really good,
that the artwork goes. So anyway, I think it's super fun. Again, super difficult to choose between these 4 for my top 4. But this definitely holds a wonderful place at number 3 in my list.
Yeah, it's a nice game. I like it. We have a crossover.
Oh, whoa. Your number 3 is my number 2.
Yeah.
Or rather, my 1B game.
your 1B and my number 3 are the same.
How about that?
It is.
This is
Creature Caravan
from Red Raven Games.
Yes.
Super fun game.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
We are trying to move our caravans from one edge of the map to the other edge of the map, all while drafting and playing these cute little cards. It costs cards to buy cards, and then you are trying to match up keywords in order to get more points. And basically, what can you do with what you've been dealt?
I I generally am not a big fan of like card games where you have to spend cards to get other cards in play. This has that because you're spending cards to get food to help pay for your cards.
Yes.
So you really have to be selective on the cards you want to play.
Yes.
Also because you're limited to 12 cards in front of you.
Yes.
And so you're trying to play all the right cards to get all the most points. And so I like trying to manage that as well as moving the caravan along, looking out for zombies along the way.
Oh yeah.
Mind you.
The fairy zombies.
Yeah, the fairy zombies.
Or fire zombies, because it's little fire fairies that come out of the zombie. It's really weird.
It's weird.
It all goes along with the whole Red Raven lore.
Hey,
thanks for following, Rolo. So yeah, that is that. I enjoyed all of that. You've got to use your dice to take actions on the board, whether you're going to move along the plains or through the zombie area on the mountains. But maybe I've got creature powers that help me go over the mountains, or maybe I need to stop and camp at this watering hole, and I'm going to get some cards for it or something. There's all sorts of interesting decisions to be made, and I think that's what ultimately drives most games, is having interesting decisions.
Yeah. So for the longest time in February, this was at the top of my list. But after I've played it 4 times now, and it's gone down a little bit each time because there's one card that I really don't like. It's
Tiny Queen.
The Tiny Queen just feels too good for me. And
it's beaten you twice.
Yes. True.
I've had it, and someone at your game group had it.
It's like, I don't know.
I still love it.
And you can't just take out the queen because there's other cards that play off of
this. That key off of the queen
card. But maybe if you give her less points, it would be fine.
Cosmic Beat says 4 times and has gone down. You should probably sell it. I know why you want her to sell it, Beat.
Michael likes the game, Josh. I won't sell it. I really actually love the game. It just, that one card just bothers me.
For a little background, remember we said that you're limited to 12 cards. Well, the Tiny Queen has a power that tiny cards do not count towards the 12 card limit. So you can have 12 cards plus an unlimited number of tinies.
And she's worth 11 points.
And I finished with 18 cards.
Yeah, it's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. But that's the one thing I don't really love about it. But everything else I do. So
you like it enough to be.
It's the dislike. So
right.
It's fine. It's still made my 3rd on the list because I really enjoyed it.
Out of 40 games, this is your top 10%, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So that is your number 3, my number 2/1B. Creature Caravan.
Oh, so that means I'm next.
That means you're next.
Okay.
That means it's your turn.
Yep. So I got to do that.
You're already pre-preparing.
Yes, I was doing yours because I thought you were next, but next.
You are next.
My number 2 is Foxy because it's so good.
Everyone knows because you are a Foxy fan.
It's so
good. And I am too, enough to rate it number 5.
Yeah, I mean, I played it 9 times, and I just want to keep playing it.
Over and over.
I wish the cards were a little bit smaller so it'd be easier to pack. Because it's not exactly a travel game. It's a small game, but it's not like one I'm just going to put in my backpack and bring. I need a better solution for carrying it.
This is a really easy game if you like to do those 10 by 10 challenges. This is a super easy game to do that with. And
in 4 weeks.
You know, we probably amongst the people on this stream could knock out that 100 by 100 challenge.
That's right, Delvia. Put us all in there.
That's right. So that is your number 2, Foxy by Pegasus Spiel. It's time for my number 1A and your number 1 game. They are different.
I thought this would be your number 1 game, honestly.
And it almost was, but remember, my 4 top I had trouble with. And this game I thought would be on your list, and then you reminded me.
You played it.
So,
Last year sometime.
not a new game for you.
No.
Was a new game for me. You played it first on BGA.
Yes.
And you had already played it by the time we got our physical version. So, when we got the physical version, that's the first time I had learned it. It's Forest Shuffle from Lookout Games. In Forest Shuffle, you have cards and can draft cards. And you have to play trees into your forest, and then you play critters around your trees. Lather, rinse, and repeat, trying to get as many points and combos as you can get. If you have European hares, which can stack inside, you can have 12 hares on a tree if you want, just because they are little bitty critters.
Dan won our first game.
And hares give you more points for hares, and foxes will give you more cards for having hares. Mm. So those combo well together. You've got what is it that kills the deer?
The lynx.
The lynx will, if you have a lynx and several deer, then you can get points from that. If you've got different butterflies, you can get points from that. If you have
chanterelles, you get lots of cards when you play trees.
When you play trees. Certain trees want you to have more of a certain type of tree. Some trees want you to have one of each type of tree. I love the chains of scoring, and everyone seems to think, oh, this is the unbeatable strategy. No, this is the unbeatable strategy. No, this is the unbeatable strategy. I don't know what the unbeatable strategy is. I have no clue. I am willing to play this until I can find out what works, because I am terrible at this game.
Well, what's also nice is now they have 2 expansions that add in more cards, so you'll see a couple more different types of trees and different types of butterflies and other ways to score. So there's no real dominant strategy if you include all the expansions with it. So that's what a lot of people are finding.
That's awesome.
So that is good.
Well, I mean, it's like when we had somebody talking about Dominion. People say, "Oh, this is the best card." Oh no, you have to use this card. There were best strategies. Well, that's the thing. When you add in more Dominion expansions, now you've washed a lot of that away. Same thing with Forest Shuffle. Yeah. You wash a lot of that dominant strategy thing away, and that might actually work with Creature Caravan if they come up with other expansions for that as well.
No, I'm all in on a Creature Caravan.
When they for sure. Yeah. So the question that Los Torpedo says, how many doubles do we have in the top 10? We'll get to that in just a second after Steph gives her number 1 game.
Yeah, it is Aeon's End the Descent.
And in Fangirl Fanboy here, right? So
this was great. I probably wouldn't recommend this for new time Aeon's End.
But you could. But I agree.
Because we both played the more complicated characters, I would say.
Yeah, we wanted to
know what you're doing when you're playing these characters, and if you're just learning, you're not going to necessarily want to jump into new mechanics for characters. But there's also, as Michael mentioned briefly, the friends and foe modules that you're playing with in the first game, that you have a friend who's helping you along and might heal you up. And then you also have a foe that's trying to deal more damage, put out minions and stuff like that. So you have to manage those, because those 2 people, the foe and the friend, have a card in the turn order deck. So when they come out, they're doing their thing.
So we can't use our turn order app, unfortunately, because it's not updated for the friends and foes. But it's so good. And if you want to make it harder, you eliminate the friend. And if you want to make it easier, you eliminate the foe.
Yeah, I don't need to do either of those, but I like playing with them just to give you that added thought of like, well, now what do I want to do with this card? Do I want to get an ether with it, or do I want to take away one of the charges that the enemy has? Well, there's choices. Now there's different choices to be made. I love all the new cards. I love the Nemesis. I thought we were dead in the water early.
Oh my goodness. We thought we were...
At the end of the game, like, so easy.
At the end of the game, I'm like... So, let me spoiler a little bit. I can't remember her name. It's like Shari or Shari. She's awesome.
I don't know.
She's awesome. She's like this warrior girl who can infuse the breaches. The breaches are how you cast spells. So I'm like, all right, this is fantastic, and I'm gonna put this on your breach. Anytime you cast a spell from that breach, it comes back to your hand. And Steph's like, what, are you kidding me? This is way overpowered. I'm like, it cost me a ton, and I had to draw it randomly.
Drawn card randomly, but it was the first one, so therefore
Oh, it's so good.
number 3 breach, which gives you the +1 damage. So not only was I getting 6 for the card spell, I was getting the +1 and her cool ability to put it back into my hands with every turn.
7 damage. Boom, 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 boom.
It was really good. And when we play it on stream soon, I doubt we'll be as good.
Los Torpedo says, it's a perfect game if you like to be beaten by the game. Here's the thing. If you're never beaten by the game, it's too easy. I really enjoy playing games like Ghost Stories. I've never beaten Ghost Stories.
No, me neither.
I enjoy playing games like Arkham Horror, Eldritch Horror, all of those series, Elder Sign, where the game can beat you. Nemesis, where the game can beat you. You can't always win. Sometimes you do.
Yeah.
This is like that.
Yeah, if you get a bad draw or if you choose your actions not wisely, then you're wasting. I did the right thing by buying a gem early to give me more buying power. To let me get the high powered,
the big cards, so that when I got mine, it comboed well with yours.
Yeah, it was good.
Pathfinder ACG, your number 2 or 3 game of all time.
Oh yeah, right? For sure.
Those games, if they don't beat you sometimes, it's not enough of a struggle. You need to be able to struggle against the game.
But then if you get beaten too many times in a row, you get like...
Well, that's like Ghost Stories.
And no, but like where we left our Pathfinder game, we kept getting beaten. Like we played through
one scenario,
and so we just kind of stopped, and that's where we are. Like I don't even know. It's been years.
We need to rewatch our last video to see where we were and move on from there. And you played Nemesis today. How about that?
Oh, we love Nemesis.
So the question was, how many crossovers did we have? Not on the same position, but in the top 10. Normally, there are not this many.
Normally, no, but...
There are 8 of our 10.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that.
No, I knew because I didn't have Force Shuffle and I didn't have Point Galaxy.
And I did not have Tariki, and I did not have Masters of Crime Shadows.
Yeah, so we had 8 that were overlapping. Generally, depending on the month, there'll be more overlapping because we're playing a lot of games together. Therefore, we have the same kind of list. Next month, you'll probably have Evacuation, but I won't because I've played it before.
You played it, and it was on your November of 2023 list.
Yeah, so it's been
a year and a half ago.
Yeah, so, it just depends. I'm going to a convention in March, and he won't be there. I might learn games there that he doesn't know, or so. It just depends.
And a lot of times, like if we're at a convention together and she's like, oh, hey, I'm going to play this new game, and it's like 8 in the morning, and I'm like, go. I don't need to play it at 8 in the morning.
And I'm like...
And she's like, she's never awake at 8 in the morning normally. Put her in a convention, and she's up. No, she's up.
I'm not.
She's up 20 hours a day.
Games.
All the games.
All the games.
So, quick rundown of our top 10, as we do. My number 10 game, Portmanteau from Dog Hollow Games. My number 9, Eero from Play to Z. Number 8, and that's spelled Y-R-O.
Eero.
Eero.
Yeah.
Number 8, Point Galaxy from Flat Out Games. Number 7, Trailblazers from Bitewing Games. Number 6, Trekking the World 2nd Edition from Underdog Games. Number 5, Foxy from Pegasus Spiel. Number 4, Anne's and the Descent from Indie Board and Cards. Number 3, or 1C, Brussels 1893, Belle Epoque from Geek Attitude Games. Number 2, Creature Caravan from Red Raven Games. Number 1, Forest Shuffle from Lookout Games.
Nice. My number 10, Trekking the World 2nd Edition from Underdog Games. Number 9, Eero from Play to Z. Number 8, Toriki, the Castaway Island from Lucky Duck Games. Number 7, Portmanteau from Dog Hollow Games. Number 6, Trailblazers from Bitewing Games. Number 5, Brussels 1893 Belle Epoque from Geek Attitude Games. Number 4, Masters of Crime Shadows from Thames and Cosmos. Number 3, Creature Caravan from Red Raven Games. Number 2, Foxy from Pegasus Spiel. Number 1, Anne's and the Descent from Indie Board and Cards.
And there you have it.
Great. Good job, good job.
No, good job, you.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who don't know where to find all of our videos and when we stream, because as we were talking, we had people following our channel as we were going along. You can find us on YouTube. Search for Board Gamer Steph, where we have over 1,500 videos.
So many.
Yeah. So be sure to check that out. Or if you'd rather see us live and you get to see all the in-between video stuff where we really have a lot of fun during our streams, you can join us on twitch.tv/BoardGamerSteph, where we stream live every Wednesday and Sunday night at 5 p.m. Central. And unless you are at a convention or I am at a convention, then we will be right here streaming Wednesdays and Sundays at 5 p.m. Central, and we stream. We don't just come in and stream one game and we're done.
No.
We don't stream for 30 minutes and we're done. We stream all night, 3 games or more every single stream. So come join us on Twitch, where we play all the games.
And for those on Twitch, we'll be right back.